Hey y'all, it's your girl Lizzie Yayo, forever keeping in the bando with the Hype magazine. And today I have a legendary guest in the building by the name of Gene the Poo Poo Man Anderson. Mr. Anderson, welcome and thank you.
I'm so glad to be on your show. Matter of fact, I'm glad to be anywhere.
Amen. So, where did you get the name Poo Poo Man?
Well, for you, it's an experience, not an explanation.
Hmm.
That's kind of like a deep, dark secret. I've had it for so long. First name Pooh, second name Pooh, last name Man.
Okay. So no one knows. No one knows.
The nose knows where the nose goes when the doors close. Now, I played the nose with P-Funk before, so I know where the nose goes when the doors close.
Okay, then. So, I understand that you have been in the industry for so long. Can you please tell everybody what all it is that you do and who you are?
Well, first of all, I'm just a guy that's been in show business. I was born for this thing because I was in show business when I was 3, 4 years old. I was on television at 8 years old. I had my first records cut when I was 12 years old. I was on the road at 14 years old, and I'm now 81 years old. I've been on the road ever since.
That's
I've
beautiful.
done it all, and going back to do it a third time. The second time I messed up, and I did a few things a little streetwise, and I got sidetracked. But now I'm on the trail now, so I'm doing it and doing it right.
Okay, so with the experience that you had, you now know how to go about doing like with the industry.
Well, no, it ain't no map to this thing. It's just a case of just continuing on and just trying to make it work. I
Mm.
got started when I was 3 years old at house parties at my folks' house. They used to have a lot of social clubs back then because it was back during the Jim Crow era, and you wasn't there was integration and there wasn't no a lot of places for the blacks to go, so they used to do it in each other's homes. They call it social clubs, and I used to dance and sing at the little social clubs till about 9 o'clock before they make me go to bed, and I get tips off the floor. I'd make $3 or $4, $5, and I was doing good for a kid 2, 3, 4 years old. And then I went to I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, and I went to a party at the department store called Famous and Bars. A guy, a old white guy, used to take a bunch of kids down there during the Christmas holidays. And it was a lady by the name of Charlotte Peters had a TV show. And she said, "Can anybody sing White Christmas?" And I raised my hand and I sang White Christmas. I sung it so good, she went and got some more guys to say, "Listen to this kid sing." And I did White Christmas again. And next thing I know, in a couple of days, so later, they called my mama to the limousine down to pick me up to take me to her television show. And I was on TV at 8 years old singing White Christmas. So that's how it all got started. Then I, I got I started doing street corner doo-wops. Back in the day, they used to have groups used to do street corner doo-wops. Like that's how Frankie Lyman and all got started. And I was used to do that, and I became kind of famous doing the street corner doo-wops. And did a talent show and won the talent show. And Ike Turner was the artist that for winning the talent show, you get $500 and sing on the next Ike Turner record. And me and I had a group called the Rhythmettes. It was called Pete and the Rhythmettes. And we did the show. We won the talent show, and we went and sung with Ike Turner at the studio. And he had a guy by the name of Jackie Preston, I think his name was their artist that he was going to record, and he didn't show up to the session. And we did the background, and so he had a girl by the name of Ann Bullock. He said, "Ann, you sing the songs." He said, "Ike is out of my key." She said, "Don't make no difference. It ain't gonna be your record no way." She sung the song, and we sung the background on the song, and it was "You're such a fool, you know you're in love, what you say." It was it was "Fool in Love," and he said that Jagger Mirror in New York at Sue Records, and Jagger put it out, and the record became number one. And I had a number one record that I sung the background on Uh, I think it was 52 or 57 or something like that. And I took the group and named the group the Ikeettes and kicked me out of the group because I was a boy. I cried like a dog. Matter
Mhm.
of fact, when I died, I helped bury him. We was friends all our life, and I told him I'm still mad at you. You might be dead, but I'm still mad at you for putting me out the group.
Mhm.
Everybody laughed at the funeral. Yeah. Then after that, I started singing jazz. I sung with Duke Ellington. I sung with Dizzy Gillespie, James Moody, Sonny Stitt, and Jimmy Smith. I sung with all of the jazz greats. I did real good around the time that I was trying to get started singing the jazz. I sung that till I got drafted into the army. Then I went to the army. I went to Vietnam and I sung over there with Shirley Ellis. And she's the girl that had name game. Nana nana Bafana Bafi Bafana the name game. And she and I we started the show over there. And then when I came back, I got out the army. I got with a guy named St. Gary. And he had a hit record. And him and a guy named Bill Johnson, they were Sam and Bill. And Bill Johnson got kind of hyper snickered and he decided he wanted to take off and do his own thing. And Sam had a lot of gigs left, so Sam said, "Hey, Gene, why don't you take Bill's place?" I took his place. Next thing I know, I was at the Howard Theater in Washington, D.C., singing with the Temptations and Junior Walker and Minnie Collier and the Capitals. They had a record called Cool Jerk, da, 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 da. And the Temptations had a record called I Know You Want to Leave Me Too Ain't Too Proud to Beg. And then we had a record called For Your Love, I Would Do Anything. So we did that for a while, and then me and him we broke up, and I went back to St. Louis. I signed with Chess Records. That's the company that they made that movie called Cadillac Records out of.
Yeah.
I signed with that company, and I sang over there with them, and it didn't work out. So I fooled around and I started singing on my own and cutting some hometown records. That's how I got the name the Poo Poo Man.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna tell you that story because I'm gonna keep that a secret. Yeah,
I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that.
okay. So anyway, after that, uh, I cut a few records. Then I went to Chicago. I cut a record called "The Devil Made Me Do It" for Westbound Records in Detroit. That's where I met George Clinton in the office in Westbound Records. That was in 1967, and I flew around there and did pretty good with that record. Then I got with High Records, so that Willie Mitchell and Al Green and Ann Peoples. And I wrote some hit records, and I got a big record over there called Mixed Emotions. And I stayed over with him for about 4 or 5 years. And then I met a girl, had a son, and his name was Petey. And I went back home to St. Louis, and uh, I've got with some guys that I used to know that started a record distributing company called Middle West Record Distributing Company. And we started promoting records, and we started with a record that's called The Rapper's Delight. That was the first rap record ever. And they sent me an acetate and see if I liked it without promoter card, wouldn't nobody play it. So I promoted the record. I took it over to WSL and got it promoted. And before I know it broke out, it was the biggest record in the whole wide world. There was hip hop or hippity hop, So we did that record, and then I did Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Then I did Melly Mel. I did The Message. Then I did Funk You Up by Sequence. Then I did Angie B's first record, Angie Stone. She turned her name to Angie Stone. I did her first record with her. And next thing you know, I did Curtis Blow. I did Soul Sonic Force, Planet Rock. I did uh, uh, Run DMC. I did Cool Modi. I did Treacherous 3. I did all those records and got them promoted first. I was the first one that promoted those records. Somehow along the line, I got a reputation as a great promoter. And I wrote a book that's on sale right now. It's called The birth of hip hop, the Gene Anderson story, Rappers Delight. You can find it on YouTube under the Gene Anderson Story. That's THG, the GeneAndersonStory.com. And you can find it, you can get you a copy to tell about how hip hop music got started and the trials and tribulations that it took for us to get started. And before you know it, it was great. And I left that and I met a guy by the name of Sonny Liston, the prize fighter. I did a TV show and I was going by an office, and one of the guys in the office knew me, and he wanted to introduce me to the guys, them old gangsters that was in this office. It was a guy named Lowell Powell. He had been inspector of the police department. And my cousin, Marvin Lewis, was the gopher boy. You go for this, you go for that, you bring it here, you bring it back. He was a police officer too, but he was hanging out with the big boys. And he called me in there, and they had seen me on TV. And I saw a big, huge photograph of Mr. Powell, who was the ringleader, holding Sonny Liston, the prize fighter's hand up in the air after he had won the heavyweight championship of the world from Floyd Patterson. And I said, can you tell me who he is? And they said, well, he'll be in town very shortly. And Sonny came to town, and I went to the Southside Gym to meet him. And he was training for a fight in St. Louis. And I went there talking real loud and whooping, whoop, 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 whoop. He said, who is this kid with such a loud voice? They said, this is Gene Anderson. He come want to meet you. I said, I want to meet you because I want to meet Sammy Davis Jr. because I read in the Jet magazine that Sammy Davis was managing him. I wanted to meet Sammy Davis Jr. in order for him to maybe do something with my talent because I'm a great singer. I said a great singer. I didn't say a good singer. I said I'm a great singer. He said, you think you're great? I said, I know I'm great. He said, well, I tell you what, you cool it for a minute. Let me go through this training session and we'll talk about it more. So we went and did the training session. He was training with boxing with a guy by the name of Shipes for speed, and he was boxing with George Foreman. You know who George Foreman is, right?
Yes,
he
sir.
was with George Foreman. It was a sparring partner. So after the fight was over, we was all headed to a restaurant. We all in the limousine. And George Foreman was popping gum in the car. I never will forget this. And Sonny told George Foreman, he said, hey, spit that gum out. It's bothering me. George Foreman said, George, he said, Sonny, you wouldn't talk that way with me if you saw the way I whooped that Russian. He said, yeah, but I ain't that damn Russian. Spit that gum out. So Sonny listened. So George Foreman rolled the window down and spit the gum out. I'm scared to death of two. I'm sitting between two killers.
Right.
I'm a little youngster. I didn't weigh 90 pounds. And I'm sitting between, so they got me all pieced up in the limousine. And he said, I tell you to spit that gum out. He said, yeah, but you seen the way I whooped that Russian. I was looking like this here. So the fight, the next day was the fight. I drove my car down. I had a little Ford, the regular Ford, and it was smoking at the back and everything. As I drove my car down there, I got on a milk white suit. I'm dressed to kill. And I went to the door. And wasn't nobody at the door taking the tickets. So I just walked on up the fight and I come down the steps. I was at the top of the arena when I got in. And it was 3 or 4 or 5 levels down. I walked, jumped on the fence, walked, jumped on the fence, walked, jumped on the fence, walked. And like next thing I know, I was down by ringside. Ain't nobody stopped me yet. And Sonny was fighting. It was like the 7th, 8th round. They was tired. Sonny was, the guy was, So the bell rang and he was sitting on a stool. I walked over at him and pulled on his trunks at the corner of the ring and pulled on his trunks. I said, Sonny, you mean you gonna let him do us like that? He said, Dean, baby, what you doing here? I say, I come to see you win this fight. I didn't come to see you get to beat up. He said, don't worry about it. I got it now. The bell ring, he went out there and he beat the boy to death. He won the fight. uh, the unanimous decision. We come out. He said, "What Gene at? What Gene at?" I went. They pulled me over to the side of the ropes where they was had his hand up. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the fight, son boy, listen by unanimous decision. So we started walking together down there to the dressing room. Everybody was screaming and hollering, "Hey, son boy, hey, son boy." He said, "Meet me at the hotel. I'll be at the Roosevelt Hotel. Meet me over there." I said, "Fine." I went and got my car. I parked my car on the sidewalk because I didn't have no place else to park. So I got my car. Nobody, I thought they done towed the car. So anyway, I got in the car. We drove down to the Roosevelt Hotel. And he come down there. He had a girl with him named Barbara. She had been a model on Vogue magazine. He had a beautiful girl with him. And he said, "Hey, that G baby." He grabbed me and hugged me. He hugged me too tight and hurt me. He's a very big old monster. So anyway, I gave him my phone number. We talked and we laughed and we talked. And she said, "Sonny, give this boy a chance." She said that. He said, "Well, I tell you what, you ever get to Las Vegas, you check me out. Here's my phone number." I, I took his phone number down. I went and told everybody, my wife, my cousins, and everybody, the people in my band, that I'm going to Las Vegas to meet with Sonny Liston. So I called him 2 or 3 times, and he told me, he said, "Listen," he said, "if you ever get out here, I'll take care of you and get something going for you." So I got lucky and got a TWA getaway card from the credit card. I don't even know where I got the card from. So I don't remember trying to fill out no list. It just came. God sent me a credit card.
That's right.
I get in the plane. I go there. It was 12 o'clock when I got on the plane. It was 12 o'clock when I got off the plane because it was a 2-hour flight. And the time zone, I never seen it. I didn't know about the time zone. I said, 12 o'clock is 12 o'clock. You know, it should have been 2 o'clock. And so I called him up. I said, "Sonny, I'm here." He came down there and he had on a green uh, uh, velour suit, and he had some green States Adams on, alligator skin. Oh, he was sharp. He came, I got my bags and stuff. We went there and then we went to the Tropicana Hotel. I'd never seen Las Vegas before. The lights was just overwhelming for a country boy. This was way back. This was in 1968. And so we went to a place called the Bonanza, and that's where this jockey was playing there called Wolfman Jack. He used to be a major influence of R&B music. A white guy, his name was Wolfman Jack, and he was performing over there with a band and stuff. We went over there and seen him, and Sonny said, "Let my boy do a song." I did a song. I think I did Midnight Hour or something like that. And I tore the house up. And Sonny was so happy. He was just grabbed me by the head and stuff. So we went down to the Flamingo Club to a place that's called, they had an act called the Frolish Brazier. That's the first time I ever seen topless. I had never seen all them titties in my life at one time. It was about 25 of them. They were dancing with the fellas all on, and they had a guy by the name of Roman, was a big time light opera singer singing "Only Make Believe You Love Me." And he was coming down the steps, and the girls with no titties was coming down the steps with their titties out coming down the steps. I couldn't believe it. I was overwhelmed. Sonny was trying to get me to leave. I said, "No, Sonny, I want to stay a little bit longer." That was a highlight in my life. So we left from there. Then we went down to the Sahara Club. We went to a club over on the west side of town. That's the black side of town back then. And we went to a club called uh, Moulin Rouge. That was the big black casino where all of the white guys used to have black girlfriends, used to meet them over there, and the white guys used to have, the black guys had white girlfriends, used to meet them all of the stars, Lou Rawls, all them guys used to hang out over there and and do gossip. I'm saying uh, Prince Spencer, Tap Dance Step, and Joe Williams. They all used to hang out over there. And so Sonny went over there and took me over there. Then we went to a place called Rubens. That's where all the pimps hang out. That's where all the pimps used to hang out after they collecting their trap. Used to hang out over there at the Rubens. So Rubens had a band in there called the Soul Patrol. And Sonny had them to let me sing. I think I sang the same song and tore the house down. People loved it. He said, I got something here. So we left from there and went back to the hotel. We moved into the Stardust Hotel. That's where I met the Checkmate and the Treniers. They were the top black groups on the heap of the entertainment level, on that level of entertainment at the time. There's what's that? They had Black Pearl was the uh, uh, the boys, Son of Charles now. That was their record. And the Treniers had a record called Up on Saturday. Up on Saturday. That was getting it, man. I was so excited. I was a youngster. You know what I mean? I was 26 years old. I just had a baby, just got married, and everything else. And I was trying to get on, and I was in the midst of excitement, things that I had seen on television. These actors I had seen them on TV and stuff, on Ed Sullivan's show and all these big shows. And there I was, smack dab in the middle of with Sammy with eating with Count Basie. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, I can't believe it. Then he's trying to find Sammy Davis Jr. for me. So we didn't find Sammy. So I got lonesome for my group that I had in St. Louis. He sent for them and flew them all the way out to Las Vegas to get with me. We Sonny Liston loved me. I was his boy. And so we went back over to the Sugar Hill. That's Bob Bailey's club. And we started playing over there. Bob Bailey had a television show. Before you know, we was on TV in Las Vegas. And our records, I had some records that we had cut. And they was playing our records and stuff. So we didn't got famous overnight. And then I had a guy named Richard Martin. He was such a big head. He had such a big head that he didn't want to act right. So Sonny got mad and sent everybody home but me. Now I'm lonesome. I ain't got nobody but me. I have everything in the world. I got a limousine, I got money, I got everything in the world. But I don't have nobody that I can talk to about it that's my equal. And so I got lonesome and stuff, so I decided I wanted to go home. He said, man, you start crying. He said, man, you saying not good by you. I said, yeah, but I said, I got to go home. My wife, I've got a baby that's a year old. My wife is acting up. My mama tell me I got to hurry on home. I just got to go back home. I got back he sent me back home. He took me, he's crying. He's really crying. He said, man, ain't I good by you? Why you want to leave me like this here? I left and went back home. And he said, well, if you come back for the Christmas holiday, we're going to go down to Mexico and we're going to party. I said, fine. I called him around Christmas holiday about 5 or 6 times. Nobody answered the phone. And I kept on calling. And day after Christmas or so, New Year's, that came on the news that he had been murdered, that he got killed in Las Vegas, Sonny Liston.
My condolences.
So sick. It just tore me up, you know what I'm saying? And the next thing I knew, I came back to the funeral. When I came back to the funeral, I was sitting with Ed Sullivan and a guy named Sergio Funky. He was an opera singer. And I was crying, and Ed Sullivan pet me up. Ed Sullivan, I'm talking about the real Ed Sullivan. He just pet me up and said, don't cry, kid. He said, we're going to be okay. And I was so sick because I wanted to meet Sammy Davis Jr. And I know that Sonny was my only link. We was gonna get we was gonna get in the movies and everything else. Everything Jim Brown was gonna put us in the movies. And Sonny was dead, and I didn't know what to do. He had introduced me to Red Fox, and Red Fox said, I was at they had a repast at the International Hilton Hotel, and I had cut a record with Sonny called "I'm a Lover." It's on YouTube now. You can find it. And we was gonna go and shoot some movies in Hollywood. And he had gotten killed, and everything was going down the drain. And I saw Red Fox, and I said, Fox say, he said, "Come here, Poo Poo." No, he called me Petey. He said, "Come here, Petey." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man," he said, "I'm sorry to hear about Sonny." I said, "Yeah, well," I say, I'm sad, man." I said, "My career done went down the drain. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say about this." He said, "I tell you what, you take this picture." And he handed me a picture, and it was a picture of him. And I turned the picture over, and I said, "Red, this is a picture of you." He said, "Ain't I somebody?" He said, "Long as this guy's living, you got somebody that'll take care of you." I went on back home to St. Louis, and next thing I know, he was on television on Sanford and Son. He was a big star. He did Cotton Come to Harlem and Sanford and Son. And he came to St. Louis. They named a street after him because he was from St. Louis. And I saw him. I went to the street naming, and I saw him, and he said, he told Night Train Lane, who was his bodyguard, he said, "This is my godson here, Gene Anderson." I was Genie Boy. That's called me Genie Boy. All of them call me Genie Boy. He said,
Mm.
"Genie Boy." He said, "I'm going to send for him." He sent for me to come back to Las Vegas. I came back to Las Vegas in 1985, and I got with him. I brought some guys out here with me. About 15 guys. We had a whole show review. I brought out here to Las Vegas, and we had opened up a club called the Blue Angel, which was a little old flop club, but it was on Las Vegas Boulevard, the low end. And so we had cleaned the club up and everything else. We was drawing people, and people started talking about it, say there's some youngsters from St. Louis is tearing up the strip. So
Mm.
some guys came that owned uh, the Town Tavern. These guys named Bebu and Cuby. They had heard about us, but they had heard about me because I was doing a little Cab Calloway act with the white tails, and I had long hair in and a baton in my hand. I'm directing the band and singing. And he said he came over there to check the group out to see what was happening. They sneaked off and auditioned for the man because they was kind of jealous because I was killing them. They wasn't none of them good as me.
Mhm.
So he said, uh, "Where's the little guy with the long hair with the baton?" They say, "Poo Poo Man," say, "Where is he? We want to see him." They say, "He's in the bed sleep." He said, "Go get him."
Mhm.
I come over there. He said, "Let me see your act." So I did my act in my house shoes. Never will get to have my house shoes on. I did my act. He said, "Yeah, I tell you what, we'll take y'all and we'll put y'all in our club. We'll feed y'all and put y'all in our hotel, and and we'll take care of you if you bring him with you. But if you don't bring him, don't come." So they was kind of a little upset about it, but they
Mm.
didn't have no choice. We went on that in 2 weeks. We had a line wrapped around the club for people who want to get in to see us, and it was raining. Never forget, it was raining like cats and dogs, and the line was still people with umbrellas wrapped around the block to get in to see us. They wanted to see me. The people them keeping them took a picture that I had promotion pictures and blew it up life size and put it on the wall. And I was singing with that baton, and I was killing them. And I met a dude named Jones who used to be uh, Sonny Liston's manager. He was Red Fox security. He said, "Did you the same Gene Anderson that was with Sonny?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Does Red know you in town?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, Red's coming to town today, and I'm going to pick him up. He's finna open up at the Hacienda Hotel, and I'm on my way to pick him up. You want to go with me? I said, yeah. I jumped in the Sanford and Son truck, the red Sanford and Son truck, and I drove the truck all the way to the airport, and we met Red coming down the highway. Red was riding in a little convertible Mercedes. We started racing each other, and he saw me. He started waving and stuff. We got down to the house. He just grabbed me and started crying and kissing me and hugging me and stuff. We went in the house, and he took his knife out and he threw it in the wall and stuck it in the wall. He said, "Go get it." He said, "Now you do it." I said, "What?" Red was eccentric. I threw the wall and I stuck it in the wall. And then we went back. We did that about 10 minutes, chopped the whole wall up, throwing the knife in the wall. That's Red Fox. He was just that bizarre.
Yeah.
And so I told Red what the situation with me and the guys. And Red said, "I tell you what, you come down to the show, Jones, you bring him to the show, and I'm going to let him do a solo act down on the show. And if you got what you used to have, I'll keep you and put you in my show."
Mm.
Down there, and Prince Spencer, he was the president of the corporation and the MC of the show, the Red Fox's show. And he said, uh, he Jones told Prince to let me do what Red had said, and John and Red and Prince said, "We don't know nothing about this kid. This is a big show, and this is the top show on the strip. We don't know about this kid. We can't just let him on there with no rehearsal, no nothing." So they did the show, and I'm dressed. I got my uniform on. I got my tails on, and I got my baton and stuff. My hair was in finger waves. I wear finger waves then with the little kick in the back, right? And so Red came in, and they said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Red, the four-letter word that's funny and blah blah, Red Fox." And then Red go Red to the show and come back out. He asked me, said, "How did you do?" I said, "I didn't do nothing." I said, "They didn't let me do nothing." He said, "Well," he said, "Tell Prince to come in." He told Prince, he said, "Listen," he said, "this is my boy. I've been knowing him since he was a kid. I want him on this show. And if he ain't on this show, everybody fired." That didn't help me at all. Everybody mad at me now because here's a little sucker that come from out of the sticks Red Fox want to put on the show, and he don't we don't know nothing about him. He said, "Matter of fact, I want him to come on just before me so I can see him." He said, "Red, that's the co-star spot." He said, "I don't care whose spot it is. You let him on or everybody live." I went the next day. I went and I'm in the wings. I'm so nervous. I'm shaking like you wouldn't believe. And I'm saying, "Lord, if I'm gonna ever be good, let me be good tonight."
Mm-hmm.
I went on and did the show, and I rocked the house. I set the house on fire. I got a standing ovation. And Red said, "I told you he was good." And he said, "You stick with me." And he told Prince, he said, "You want to bet that he can't do this?" Now Prince said, "He's a fluke." Prince said, "He's a fluke. He ain't gonna be able to do that every day." And Red said, "I bet you $50 he does tomorrow." He gave me $100 bill and told me to go get them waves, them finger waves out of my hair. He wanted my hair to hang down, but I had long hair then. He wanted to hang down and go get some shoes from the dancing store that wasn't as heavy as my street shoes I was wearing, because I needed to have some dancing special shoes. They look like they're regular shoes, but they made out of thinner material. They real light. I went and got them, and I came back, and I did the same thing. I did the same thing about 3 nights in a row and took about $150 from Prince. Red Hat said, "You want to bet again?" He said, "No, I ain't gonna bet on it, lose all my money on this little sucker." So the next thing I know, they wrote me up in the newspaper, the Vegas Voice newspaper. Says a new guy on the strip with Red Fox that he looked like he can fly, because I was taken to the air doing some things. He said he looked like he can fly. You can find the video on YouTube under Gene Anderson and Red Fox at the Hacienda of my act.
Mm.
And so I met uh, uh, Frank Sinatra came to the
Mhm.
show. Frank Sinatra Jr. came to the show, and his daughter Nancy Sinatra and their manager Eddie Pooch came to the show. And we were sitting in the lobby after the show playing video poker. They had just got them video poker machines playing
Mm.
poker. And Frank Sinatra Jr. came over to Red Fox and said, Red, don't you remember me? And Red looked at him and said, you look out for me. He said, I'm the little Dago boy that you stepped on your shoes and you spanked him. He said, Frank Jr. He said, yeah, they hugged him down. He said, where your daddy? He said, he's right over there playing poker, talking about Frank Sinatra. He said, uh, he said, what y'all doing slumming? That's what he called slumming for Frank Sinatra and all to come down there to the Hacienda Hotel. That's the Mandalay Bay right now. But there was the Hacienda Hotel back then. And he said, we heard you got a poo-poo man.
Mm.
And my daddy wanted to see what Red can come up with now with a poo-poo man. He said, the boy's phenomenal. Uh, where is it? I was sitting on the side, but he didn't know me. I haven't planted back up because it was too long just to be hanging down. And I didn't have a tuxedo on and all. I was having regular clothes on. He said, here he is. He said, listen. He said, boy, you phenomenal. I want you to come down to the Four Queens downtown and sit in with me and do a thing with me and Count Basie. I said, okay, cool. Red was excited about that. And then I went down there and sung with them, and that was it. The whole town knew about me then. And next thing I knew, I stayed there with Red until he. No, we went to Lower Mile Telepictures, and we had a TV show called uh uh Red Fox. Oh shoot, it was it was before the Royal family. The Royal family came after Harlem Nights,
Mm.
but it was called Al's Candy Store.
Mm.
And Red was on the TV show, and Red wouldn't let me sign with him because he was scared he was gonna lose me, and he wouldn't let me sign with him. There was Lower My Television that wants to take me and sign me up for my own TV show. That
Mm.
put me hard. I lost faith in Red then, but he wouldn't let me go. Then the next thing you know, we went back to Hollywood, and Red did Harlem Nights, and I went over there to be his assistant, be his camera blocker with Harlem Nights, and they they did the movie, and then Della Reese and Red Fox got together with Eddie Murphy and came up with a TV show called called uh, The Royal Family. That's where Red died on the set of The Royal Family. Him and Della Reese, and
My condolences.
huh,
My condolences.
yeah. And then Red died, and then when Red died, I took a tailspin. I started doing. I wasn't doing nothing too much, too big of things no more. And before you know it, I was in the street life. I was hanging out with Rick James and Charlie Wilson and Ike Turner and Sly Stone. I was
Mm.
hanging out with them, and all of them was on drugs. And so I ended up getting on drugs. And before you know it, I had a dope habit from here to back to St. Louis. Now I'm pimping and everything else. Everything I'm doing, everything my mama didn't never want me to do. I'm in the streets. I'm mastering the streets. I'm getting Cadillacs from the game. But I just stopped entertaining. I'm no longer a star. Rick James, he done gave it up. He's done burning women and stuff and talking about I'm Rick James, bitch. And he's smoking that stuff. And Charlie Wilson, he Gap Band, the whole Gap Band that fell to the curb. They all on dope. Half of them staying with me. I'm staying with them. We stand with each other. Sly Stone is just as crazy as he can be. And Ike Turner was the ringleader of everybody. So now we all a mob. Oh, you know it. We all goes to prison. Ike Turner goes first.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Wilson goes to Acton. That's where he met his wife, Mahim, at. He goes to Acton, uh, 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 place for the cure. And Rick James goes to prison. So I ended up going to prison too. I got busted with some crack in my pocket, and they said I was trying to sell it, but I wasn't trying to sell it. I was trying to smoke it, if anything. Because shit, when we got down to a half ounce of dope, we was running out. We wasn't copping. So I can tell about the good and the bad, right?
Right. I love it.
So I ended up going to CRC with Rick James. So me and Rick James, I asked everybody, did y'all see Rick James in here? And then they said he's in the B camp. So I was in the C camp. I was in the A camp. We was all in on the roof in the tower. He came to see me. They told him that there was a guy named Poo Poo Man wanted to see him. He knew exactly who I was. He came over there with me. He came over there with some gangsters.
Mm.
Rick James was a gangster, to be truthful. So he came over there with some big old muscle bound guys, and he said, "There," he saw me, and he started crying. He said, "Man, I'm sad to see you in here. I'm glad to see you, but I don't want to see you in here. I'm sad to see you in here." He said, "You see this little bitty midget?" He just called me a little midget. He said, "You see this little midget here?" He said, "Don't nobody touch him. I want nobody to touch him." He said, y'all look out for him. I want y'all to make sure you do. And I mean that. Because Rick was calling shots. He was a shot caller in there. And I had seen Ike Turner prior to that in county jails. He gave me a pack of cigarettes for $20 and a Snicker candy bar. And he told everybody that he looked out for me too. So anyway, me and Rick, he told me, he said, listen, he said, let's don't let this time do us, do something with this time. He said, I'm writing my book and I'm writing my next album before I get out. And he said, I want you to do the same thing. So I wrote 8 books, 26 songs, no, 56 songs, and about 5 movies and about 8 children's stories. And I wrote all that during the time I was in jail. Then all of a sudden we got out of jail. Rick, no, Ike Turner got out of jail first. They was doing his story. They was doing Ike. They did a Tina story.
Mm-hmm.
What else got to do with it? Ike was supposed to have screened it and to let them know what they could do before he went to jail, but he didn't do it. And they asked him, was Lawrence Fishburne okay to play him? He let that go, but he didn't expect for them to dog him out in that movie like they did him. They made him look horrible, and he was upset about it. That when he got out of jail, but nothing he could do about it because the movie was out, was a big hit, and everything else. Wasn't nothing you could do about it because he said, Tina never woke me up. I didn't tell Anime to eat the cake. So
Yeah.
he was upset about that. But he got out and got straight and got with a girl by the name of what's her name? Not Audrey. Audrey was later. I can't think of her name now. Anyway, he married her first, and he wasn't on top, but he was rolling. Then Rick James got out next, and when he got out, he got back on. He went back over to Motown, and he put out a record, and he tried to get something started. He was on the road again. Then I got out. I got out and I went to acting school. Uh, uh, the Vanmore Academy Acting School in Hollywood.
Mm.
And so everybody started doing good. Ike Turner was the green leader. He was making sure that we stayed straight. Ain't that something, Ike Turner?
Right.
So me and Rick stayed take. I got a picture right now, me and Ike Turner and Rick James. That's on my wall right now. And so here it is. Wait a minute, let me get it in my studio. You ain't gonna share it. No, just be careful. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can see it.
Oh
That's,
wow.
that's picture of me, Ike Turner, and Rick James.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got a gang of pictures, but this was it. This one of my favorite pictures. We had just got out of prison. We was doing good. We was on top. We was rolling again. And the next thing you know, uh, uh, I started getting hit records. I started getting some more records and shit. And Rick James called me 2 days before he passed, saying, "I want I want to tell you that I love you, boy, and that you you did what I want you to do. You was able to get out from under that addiction and stuff and get back on the track by yourself with no help." I said, "Well, I had God's help, man. I didn't need that." I said, "But Rick, what's the matter with you? Cause something is wrong. Cause you don't talk to me with no compassion. We all call each other a bunch of MFs and stuff on the phone. Oh, we whoops on each other 30 minutes on the phone, you
Mm.
know, cause we loved each other. We was boys, you know." And he was talking to me like he was a big brother or something. And he never talked to me like that. He said, "Yeah, I just want to tell you, man, I just felt I need to tell you that I love you, man," and blah, blah, blah. I said, "Okay." 2 days later, I looked on television and he was dead. And he had died. I said, "Man, I can't believe he was dead." Ike Turner called me during the Grammys and said, "Hey, you know, you go to church, poo poo. Why don't you pray for me that I win this Grammy?" I said, "I gotta do that." He won the Grammy. As soon as he won it, he got on the phone while he was still at the Grammys and called me and said, "Poo Poo, I won the Grammy, man. I won the Grammy." He said, "Man, you must have prayed for me." I said, "I did." He said, "I won the Grammy." He kept saying, "I won the Grammy." He said, "I'm back, I'm back." And 2 days later, he was dead.
Mm.
I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I said, "Man, both of them died in 1 year and didn't leave nobody but me." And I said, "Well, I'm going to keep on keeping on." And before you know it, I got with George Clinton. I ran into George Clinton. I had been, like I said, I was selling dope and pimping and carrying on. And I had bought a red Cadillac. A girl named Simone Hurst had bought me a red Cadillac, a brand new one, paper on the side of the one. And I was riding down the street and I saw George Clinton. He was riding in a little clunker, him and Archie Abbott, the manager of the parliament. And he got out of that car and said, "I'm gonna ride with Poo Poo." So he started riding with me. We was riding and carrying on. And I said, "Where you staying, George?" I said, "I'm staying at the hotel." I said, "No, you come over stay with me. You come and stay with me in my apartment." And we partied and carried on, I don't know how long. And then he said, "Listen, I want you to go to San Francisco with me." And I went to San Francisco with him. And I looked at the show, and the show was missing something.
Mm.
It was something missing in the show. And I said, "Man," I said, "the show was good, but something is missing in the show." He said, "Well, you need to tell me what you think." I said, "I don't know." And then uh, we went to Phoenix, Arizona, and we riding in my car. And he said, "What you think?" I said, "Man, the show is missing something." I said, "I got an idea." He said, "Okay, when you want to try it?" I said, "I try it at the next show." We went to New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I went there and I tried that. They was doing some kind of James Brown something. I tried that little James Brown song that I did, that I wrote when I was down the High Records with Willie Mitchell. And uh, I would put the song in the show and I did an act called "I Want Some Hits." And it took off. So we tried it again, and it got so good that it started to build the show back up. It was working so good. The video is up on YouTube now. It's called I got the red hat and the red outfit on. It's called it's Gene Anderson and George Clinton in Houston, Texas. You probably seen it on my EPK kit. And that got so big that the group started getting bigger engagements and stuff. And before you know it, I done been with them for almost 20 years. We went around the world. We went to London, Paris, Rome. Putin came to see us in Moscow, Russia. Yeah, Putin, Vladimir Putin came to see us. And before you know it, I had another big fan base of Parliament Funkadelic. I played Sir Nose a couple of times on a Nike commercial with Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg, he loves me like I'm one of his uncles. I did a video with him called Cali is Active, and he said, "Y'all want him in my trailer. I want him in my trailer." And he just raised on me. Last time we was at the Grammys, we all got a all-time achievement award Grammy, and we was coming out there. We was coming out behind the wings. And he said, "Poo Poo, what's up?" I said, "What's up, Snoop?" He said, "Don't you want to take a poop? Want you go take a picture with me, man? Come on." I said, "Yeah, I'll take a picture with you." And that picture that we got there is the picture that we took together. But I had some more pictures that we did. We did the Nike commercial, and him and Warren G and them Dog Pound boys, and then we tight, we tight. And then I got with Don Juan and all those pimps. Then we tight because they knew about me from the time when I was trying to do that back then. I ain't about to do that now. I ain't think about nothing but being a star like my mama wanted me to be. So that's basically all it is to me. Then I met this girl named Honey Babe. She she straightened me all the way out. So I'm on the right track right now. I got some movies going on. My book is doing good. The Gene Anderson story, and I'm doing fine. I got new records out. You know, all I know is I'm happy right now. I bought me a house, and I ain't been on dope in over 30 years, and I ain't did nothing wrong and crazy in over 30 years. So right now, I'm just trying to just do God's work and trying to make something happen. I know I'm long-winded, but I want you to hear the whole story.
Right.
I told you the whole story, young lady.
Thank you.
Only Liz, only for you.
I thank you so much.
Sabine might be what's representing you, but that story was for you, Miss Liz.
Thank you. I'm honored. I am honored, truly honored. Um, I do have a couple questions to ask you.
Okay.
Now, you have a champagne water
Yeah, I
brand
got a champagne called Shampoo Poo. Hey,
shampoo.
y'all, what y'all bringing more about bottles out here? Yeah, it's called champagne. I started that about 10, 12 years ago. It's called a shampoo poo. The name of it is truly the Gene Anderson sparkling wine of the stars. But I call it shampoo poo because the guys that what's name used to try to steal it out the bus. The P-Funk when we was on tour, I was taking it around. Here it is.
Ooh,
That's my picture. That's like my son say, that's me.
that's right.
Yeah, that's shampoo poo.
Awesome. I
This
I
is one
also
of my books.
oh
They're
yeah,
all there on the table. Right there, right there, right there, right there. You see it?
I do. I see it. Shampoo poo.
That's just the one on top. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Look at that box over there. No, 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 over outside. Yeah, right down the hallway. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go get showing one of my books too.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, look in that box and pull one of them out. Yeah, that's it.
You got the jacket too.
Yeah, I got the jacket too. But here's the book: The Birth of Hip Hop and the Shampoo Proof. No, I don't need the jacket.
And where can we find these items?
Well, the book is online. You can find it under As You Found Out Yourself, the GeneAndersonStory.com. And as for the champagne, you can find that in all of the Lee liquor stores here in Las Vegas because I had an exclusive thing with the Lee liquor stores for the champagne. So that was it. I got a gang of pictures around here I could show you, but it would take moving the computer and all that. But you seen the one with me and Rick James and Ike Turner. That's a great one.
That is, ain't it? I love that. It seemed like you had a lot of fun, and it seemed like you took chances.
Yeah, I was one of the early people that had a publishing company. I did a lot of things that no one had ever seen before. I invented that smoke machine. I used to use a fog machine. Uh, Having uh, that picture right there. That picture, yeah, that one, yeah, that one, that one, the one on the top, that one, yeah, yeah. This was my group, the International Hookup. That
Okay.
was we got started back in the '60s. You see, that's an old look there.
They don't dress like that no more. I love.
No, they don't dress like that no more. They dress like bums. Muhammad Ali told me, give me my Muhammad Ali picture. No, yeah, it's on the wall over there, right there. Straight over to the left, to the left, to the left. There it is. There it is. It's on the plug there. Yeah, pull that pin out of it. You straighten your face. Right there to the left. No, that's up, up. There, there. That one. Yeah, that one. I'm talking to Honey Babe. She's something else. I ain't shit without her.
Oh,
Here's one of my other favorite pictures. Me and Muhammad Ali.
you just
Yeah, he took me
everywhere.
to his house. Yeah,
Oh,
he took me to his house. That's a good picture, ain't
it is. It very well is.
it? Yeah, that's one of my favorite of all time pictures. Muhammad Ali.
So what would you tell someone coming into the game or wanting to be an artist? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to be for real with yourself. If they ain't got it, don't get it. If they got it, go for it. Cause it's a lot of people out here that ain't got no talent at all and got a lot of money behind them pushing them, and they ain't gonna go nowhere. It's just wasting their time. You gotta have some talent, and you gotta know you got some talent and act like you got some talent, and do wonderful things. Don't try to act like you know it all and you got it all. You ain't got shit. You gotta have some talent first of all.
Mhm.
You can grow to have some talent, but very few of them is able to pull off that growth syndrome. And you got to first of all get you some education, because if you get some money, you got to know how to count your money, and keep your money.
Mhm.
You know, and you never get bigger than this business. I've met guys by the name of Albert King. He was the most humblest person. Him and Isaac Hayes was the most humblest people I ever known. And the bigger the star you are, the bigger the humbler you become. Right now, you never would know I was a star until you press me. You press me hard, I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna come out like a pit bull, cause that's the kind of guy I am. I came from the hard knocks school, and I don't have no ambitions and inhibitions for to try to prove my status. My work ethics doesn't. I work all day and all night. I stay in my studio, cut every day and every night. I cut something new every day. And I believe that you got to put work in to get something out of it.
Mhm.
That's what I got to say about that.
I appreciate it, and I hope that people out there is taking notes because you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, when it comes down to being a for real guy, I know about how to be for real. It takes one to know one, and you a for real girl.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you got a lot of stuff to accomplish in your life, and you look like you qualified to get the job done properly.
Thank you.
So I think you're gonna be soon. You might fool around and take Wendy Williams' old spot.
I'm receiving it. I'm receiving it. Taking all that in. Definitely. Well, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Well, I'm in Las Vegas. You can find me on kingpoopooman.com. Kingpoopooman at gmail.com. Yeah, you can find me there, or you can find me where can they find me, honey baby? What PDF? Oh, you can find me on Wikipedia, yeah. You can find me on Wikipedia, you can find me on Google, you can find me a bunch of places. Just you can find me next door trying to knock on the door and beg for some dinner. You know, tell about me. You can find me. I'm not hid. Matter of fact, all the things that would have me hidden, I done paid for that already.
Okay. Thank
The
you.
penitentiary knocked the sense in me. I said, Lord, you let me up out of here. I ain't gonna never mess up no more.
Hmm. Definitely. That'll teach you something, won't it?
Yeah, teacher, something teach you that you ain't stronger than the world. The world means more than you do. But you know what? It was a good experience though. Like Mike Tyson said, I shouldn't if I wouldn't have made it if I wouldn't have went, you know, because I was lost. I was lost. I was like Charlie Wilson was saying, I was doped out. Man, I thought that was nothing was I didn't need nothing else but $100 rock. That was it. That's all I thought I needed. One of them, I lied to myself and re-lied to myself that I was gonna do good and wasn't gonna do nothing. But I fooled around there and tricked myself into staying sober and to try to get back with God. God's running everything. You don't run nothing. God's running everything. That much I did learn. And he's always taking me to the next level and saved me. I had a cardiac arrest. I died and blanked out and flatlined and came back and did a show 2 days later, two TV shows. Two is one is called uh, Toys for Tots with Gene Anderson. It's online. All you gotta do is go on uh, YouTube and push Gene Poo Poo Man Anderson, all videos, and you'll find about 100 of them. I'm everywhere, and
Mhm.
I'm glad to be somewhere.
Amen.
I always want to say to all those youngsters that's trying to stay in show business or get in show business, just be for real about it. Just be true to yourself and put God first, and you'll get there. And then don't honey babe, so don't take no wooden nickels, but I don't know what she's talking about. I ain't never seen nickel wood in my life.
I have to definitely look that up. Definitely.
Yeah, you know what? You a little cutie pie too, ain't you?
Oh,
Holy smoke.
thank you.
Well, I ain't trying to flirt because honey babe don't play
I,
that.
I'm with her. I support my
Honey babe
truth.
don't play that.
Period. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much for your
All
time.
right, listen. I appreciate you, and you tell Kyle I said he's my man. Yeah,
Always.
he did me fair on Hype TV.
That's right. Hype Magazine. This your girl Lizzie Yayo with the legendary Gene the Poo Poo Man Anderson. Until
We've been
next,
on, and now we're gone.
yes.